Hello to everybody out there in Facebook land. Dual broadcast again tonight. I hope you guys are well. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. It is a rainy day here in RVA, and it's probably been raining for the past couple of days, which really sucks because we had such awesome weather. So I hope the weather is way better where you guys are than what it is here in Richmond. So I wanted to talk to you guys about co-author books for first-time authors, the good, the bad of it. I think it's an awesome idea. Hey, Cheryl, thank you for joining for Periscope. I think it's an awesome idea, but I want to talk to you being as I am a co-author in 2 books. Hey, Levon, thank you for joining. All right, so my name is Shakita Lee, author, speaker, entrepreneur, social media coach to writers, authors, bloggers, speakers, solopreneurs that are looking to step outside the box and become social media savvy. My link for any information, any contact, you guys can always reach me in my link in my bio or in the comments. All right, so I wanted to talk about this because I see a lot of people are doing like co-authored books, which is totally awesome. I am so for it, not against it at all. I think it's a great way to break into writing, becoming an author, doing co-authored books. It's great for first-time people because you don't have to come up with the whole book. You'll have a chapter. Depending on what the premise of the book is about, then you would either one, take on the task of being an author in the book, and if it's a good fit for you. Uh-oh, let me cancel that. All right, well, I declined it. My mama was calling me. So sorry about that, the interruption. So I did not mute my phone, but hopefully she won't call back. Thank you guys for the hearts on Periscope. Okay, so I am a part of 2 co-authored books. And for me, being a part of the first one, that was my first jump into writing a book, which I told you guys before, I kind of wanted to, but I kind of didn't want to, but I kind of wanted to, but I kind of didn't want to. So that was a great thing for me because it was 1 chapter. The premise of that book was a variety of stories. And if you guys don't know about that book, it's called Chocolate and Diamonds for the Woman's Soul. And there's over 104 women, I want to say, in the book, a variety of stories. And it's kind of like a chicken soup for the soul type of book where it's a variety of stories. And that's what anthologies are, a variety of stories. And then my second book is with women in business, and the variety of women in business kind of is just based on whatever business that they're in. That is a couple of volumes, and that is called Women Innovators. And that one just came out last year, this year. I can't keep up. It came out this year. Wow, that's so horrible. And that one I shared what I do in business. And so there are many types of books that you can be in, many types of stories. But again, it depends on you and how comfortable you feel and what you're wanting to share. Hey, Elise, thank you for joining. So it depends on how comfortable you are and what you want to share. Marlene Skincare, Marlene Renee. Oh, Marla Renee Skincare. Thank you for joining. So it depends on what you want to share. Everything may not be a good fit for you, but if it is a good fit for you, then why not go ahead with it? Now, the great things about it, again, you only have 1 chapter to write. You don't have to worry about writing a whole book. It's just 1 chapter, and you will have a max of words for your chapter. So whatever your story is, you're probably going to have to cut it and try to fit it into that word count. And you never think about it until you're writing and you start telling your story, and then you be like, oh man, this is going to be more than this word count. So you got to cut it out and put the good stuff in there. So that's a plus for someone who wants to write a book, but kind of doesn't want to take on the whole task of doing it and kind of just wants to put their feet in it. I know a lot of people have done just co-authored books and haven't done their own, and some that have not done any co-authored books and have kicked out their own books. So it's a great thing for people, but it's just, again, your preference on what you want to do. My experience with both books was phenomenal. Both books did make it to bestsellers. And the reason why is because the more people that you have in the book, the more people are going to buy the book as far as your connections, their connections, and so on and so forth. So that's going to push you up when it comes time for that book to be released to get the bestseller. If the market is out there and everybody's interested, everybody's going to want to support you on your endeavor, you hope. So that's going to push you up to the bestseller option. So it's a good thing for that option. Now, the bad thing for it is the things that you don't have any say on, which is the cover of the book, the name of the book, the premise of the book. And more than likely, when it gets put onto Amazon or any of the platforms that it's going to be sold on, you may not get a cut of that from Amazon. So the only sales that you may make is the sales that you make, say, when you're selling your book on your own, when you're selling your book on your website, or when you're at events selling your book, or at speaking engagements selling your book. So it's a great thing, but sometimes, in which these two books that I'm in, my name is not necessarily on the cover. My name is listed as an author in the book, but my Amazon author page is connected. So any books that have Shakita Lee in it, it's going to connect on Amazon because I connected it. So you'll be able to purchase any of my books that I'm in that are on Amazon. But I wanted to talk about this because it's something that I get asked a lot. The residual income is great when you are a author in your own book, but when you're a co-author in a book, the residual income is you literally selling the book. And one of the other things too that co-authors in books is the way the contract is set up when you become a part of a book. Whether you get to keep your original work or whether they keep the work, whether if it's made into a movie, how that's going to be distributed, how you're going to get paid, all of that comes into play. So those are all questions that you have to ask when you decide to take that step. Like, okay, if this book becomes a movie, what's going to happen to me? What's my cut? It's like a lot. It's great, a great option for those that are interested in, putting your foot in the water as far as being authors. But there are other things that you have to think of, which is like the cut. You want to be able to produce your work, but you want to be able to get paid for it. So if you're okay with not getting like Amazon sales, so to speak, and just, selling your book, going to book events, vendor events, selling your book at speaking engagements, then it's all fine and well. But if you're looking for a cut of something, then that might be something that you have to work out with the publisher and or create your own anthology or create your own book and become the compiler so that you get paid all of the royalties and things of that sort. Those are like things to definitely think about. I mean, my first book, I everything was laid out. So it's definitely something that was on mind. The second book was definitely something. That's some good information. I wasn't aware of this. Yes, Levon, it is important information, especially if you don't share the story anywhere else and you're not okay with your story like being out there or being made into a movie or what have you. Those are just some things that you have to think about. But it's just something that if it is presented to you, go down the list of what you do and don't want, and it'll kind of make it easier for you. And most compilers of co-authored books have this information. So they may say, hey, your work is your work. It's in the book, but you can take your chapter out and do whatever it is that you want to it. We don't hold any, publishing rights to your words that are in this book. It's just for this book. Most publishers are like way laid back on that. Big time publishers are not, because once you give them that stuff, that is theirs. Unless you have a very good contract and a very good lawyer that's going to go through that contract like a fine tooth comb and put in there what you want in there. But it is something to definitely think about. You just don't want to jump into like a co-author event or book and not know what your rights are as a writer. You want to be able to take your work and do whatever with, because as time goes on, if they don't have their own IBSN number, their own, serial number, as far as the, the books are published on a certain platform, that book after time can be taken off of Amazon or whatever platform that it's on if it's not under a serial number through a specific ISBN number that was purchased. Yeah, thank you, Elise. So it's always something to think about. I know sometimes we may not think about it because it's an opportunity. We want to jump on the opportunity, but you have to think about things in the long run. And one of my friends who is a author, her book was published through a traditional publishing company, and she just happened to look on Amazon and come to find out her book wasn't up there anymore. So in order for her to get her book up there, she had to contact the publishing company to find out. They had no idea that her book wasn't up there anymore, because it's like, they don't really care, they got the money, your book is out there, boom. But there's so many other things that you have to think about. And of course, on my journey going through this, there are things that I've come across and I'm like, And I did a video a couple of days ago talking about being connected with associations and things of that sort. So the thing is, once you become an author, if this is what you want to keep doing, writing books, you need to connect with like-minded people who are going to give you some wisdom about what the next steps are. And, hey, did you do this? Hey, did you know about that? Because it's super duper important. I listened to 2 podcasts, and both podcasts are from like well-esteemed authors and publishers, and they have these people on that have gone through the process, so they're giving out this information like totally free. And these are the podcasts that I listen to a couple of times a week. Just this information, like, you just never knew. I mean, when my friend said about her book not being on Amazon anymore, I heard about it before because they talked about it on the podcast. So these are things that you want to think about. And what I'll try to do is share more stuff with you guys, or maybe do a webinar, kind of just talking about some things as an author that you have to look out for and look forward to. Again, being a co-author is not a good thing. It's a great thing because it's a stepping stone for you if this is something that you want to keep moving towards. Now, being your own author in a book, you will be able to get residual income, and that's just money that you're going to get when somebody publishes your book while you're sleeping. So it's not anything that you have to, obviously you want to keep pushing your book and letting people know that you're an author, because that's the last thing that you want to say, I didn't know you were an author. Yeah. So you want to make sure it's out there, but you want to be able to make that residual income, that money, while you're sleeping. So that's it for me. If you guys have questions, definitely put them in comments so I can answer them. I hope this was helpful to you guys, but it's something that I've been asked a lot. So I just wanted to share a video so that I can provide you guys with this information. And hopefully it was very helpful for those that are interested, that kind of had doubts. Being a co-author is not a bad thing. It's actually a great thing. You make friends that way, and you connect with other authors that are doing other things, and they're using the book to leverage themselves in other ways. And it's a great, great thing to be able to say, hey, I co-authored a book. The name of the podcast is Author You. That's one of the podcasts that I listen to. And the other one is called, I want to say it's called The Book Hangout. The Book Hangout. Those are 2 podcasts that I listen to every day. Very informative. They have, besides best-selling authors, they have business owners that come and talk about other aspects of business and growing your business if you're using like a book, so to speak, to sell your business. And they just talk about the downfalls of some things, you know, doing business, and then how to get over those things, to get over those hurdles. So it's totally free information for you guys. And the podcasts are usually on Google, Twitter, Spreaker, and iTunes. You're welcome, Levon. You're welcome. But yes, these are our podcasts that I listen to, and they're very, very informative. And I just happened to come across them just being on Twitter. So you guys always hear me talking about Twitter, but Twitter is very informative. A lot of people have written it off, but it is very informative. So definitely consider, you know, checking out your Twitter if you have one. You know, use it, interact, connect with people. So that's it, guys. I'm going to hop off again. If you think of something, please feel free to put them in the comments or let me know, and I'll be sure to answer your questions. So I hope you guys enjoy your Monday. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I will talk to you guys soon.